Hello, my name's Michael Conneely, and this is a video to present my Master Vedic Astrology course, which is my foundation Vedic Astrology course. And I'm speaking to you from the healing centre I run with my partner Maggie Pashley in the far west of Ireland. But of course, the Master Vedic Astrology course and all my courses are available worldwide. So, what I'd like to say first of all is that it's a careful and very supportive course to learn the foundation, indeed the broad foundation of Vedic astrology. You can go on to my further courses if you wish. And in my Master Vedic Astrology course, there's a very clear course direction. So basically, one strand of the course is quite simply that we study the planets one after the other. Sun, Moon, Mars, etc. And the study is done primarily with reference to two charts. How that planet appears in your chart and your life, and how that planet appears in my chart and my life. And so, for example, you'd start, your first assignment would be the Sun in your chart and your life. And you'd send me that work. We discuss it, and then you'd send me a report, an analysis on my Sun in my chart and my life. And so the advantage of this is that it's genuine discussion, it's grounded, it's authentic. And you can also bring in other charts, but this is the backbone of the course. And the second principle is that the course extends into Western astrology if you wish. So that when you're studying the Vedic planets, you can cross-refer into the Western manifestation of those planets. And of course, you can go on to the Western outer planets, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, and Chiron the wounded healer, if you wish. And indeed, I feel, a very useful understanding of what the difference between Vedic astrology using the sidereal zodiac is, and Western astrology using the tropical zodiac. And very briefly, the sidereal zodiac, in a sense anchored to the fixed stars, is a statement of our incarnational life purpose anchored to the eternal. Whereas Western astrology, using the tropical zodiac, sun sign based, is psychological, psychodynamic. So that even Western evolutionary astrology, which deals with the effects of past lives, is expressed and understood in a psychological way. And for each of the planets, you get course material, but you also get links to my videos. For each planet, there's a presentation, and then a journey that you might like to do to meet that planet. And the underlying principle is that we meet the planet in its divine state as a refraction of the divine. And then, in your journeying and in your course, you meet the planet as he manifests in your chart and therefore in your life, or my chart and my life. Namely, we meet the planet not only as a refraction of the divine, but also as he manifests in our lives through the filters of sign, house and aspects. And of course that can be a very different kettle of fish to the divine pure manifestation. But it's to work with the filtered manifestation of the planets, and grow through that we are here. So the first strand is a clear passage, one planet after another, essentially with reference to our two charts. But there is a second ongoing strand, and that is techniques. So in between each planet study, I send you a technique to study, or a little bunch of techniques with a video presentation of those, and you apply that technique to planets in your chart and my chart, and we share and discuss on that. And optionally and free within the course, if you wish, I can introduce a Vashta study, which is a wonderful study of the standing of a planet in your chart and my chart, and how the planets treat each other. So let me say, in fact, that you get all the charts you need. So for the main course presentation, I use Sri Jyoti Star, so you get a vast range of Vedic charts there. And for the Western crossover, I use AstroCalc, and then the Swiss Huber program, Megastar, Psychodynamic Astrology, with its predictive dimension of age points, which is very, very powerful. But for the Vashtas, I use the wonderful Kala software, which isn't just limited to Vashtas and has quite many wonderful additional dimensions as well. Predictive presentations, all sorts of things. And so the next principle I'd mention is that not only do we study the planets, not only do we study techniques, including the Avashtas, but the whole thing is geared to healing and empowerment. Vedic astrology in particular has a background of being used formulaically and legalistically. I reject that. Basically, astrology should be used for perception, and perception itself can be a wonderful basis for personal and spiritual growth. But beyond that, astrology can be a wonderful pointer to healing. And as I said, I work with my partner Maggie Pashley, who's qualified in innumerable healing techniques. And so merely the statement of astrology, when coupled with awareness of healing approach, can be life-changing, and that's the whole point of my course. It's not formulaic. Always there's the question in our minds, okay, what can be done to heal this? What can be done to empower? Because we're actually here to become the special spark and achievement of who we incarnated to be this time, to burn negative karmas and to realize and express special talents. And so often we have to do that through a period of difficult experiences plus healing and empowerment out of them. So, what documentation do you get? Well, you get an extensive course document, and that basically lists the planets, signs, houses, rulers of, what house is the ruler of a house in, and what difference does that make? Planets in houses, planets in signs, aspects. At an introductory level, nakshatras, the wonderful 27-sign lunar zodiac. So in other words, you have over 10 appendices and quick guides to refer to. That's in the main course document and appendices. And then indeed there are rules consolidation documents that come in between your planets studies. So what happens is, well, You receive your course material. You receive the links to the planet videos and the planet meditations. And you're now faced with the task of your first assignment, the sun in your chart. So basically, I have a number of prompt questions towards the end of my main course document. And so these suggest some simple steps by which you can make your first step in analysing and presenting your first planet, your sun. So for example, the first of these steps is to simply identify the degree and sign of your planet in the Vedic sidereal chart and compare it to the Western tropical chart and work out the difference between the zodiacs called the Ayanamsha. And then you go on to, use my notes to say what sign and what house your sun is in and what this means. And then build on that to say what lessons do you feel are there for you in your life, and how do you feel about the lessons, and what do you think the sun destiny means for you. So you try to say in simple words what principles and energies are signified by the sun in your life, and the same basic list of start questions applies to every planet you work through, 13 in all if you include the Western ones. And so if in the next study you'd study the moon in your chart, then my chart. So you'd identify the moon phase, and indeed one of the appendices says what difference it makes in your life to have your moon in what phase, Titi, your moon phase. And then you go on to say, well, what aspects is the study planet caught up with to other planets? What planet rules the sign which your planet occupies? All this sort of thing. You study dignity. Is your planet in exaltation, Mula Trikona, own sign, or debilitated? The wonderful exaltation study, the dignity study of Vedic astrology. And so you begin to assess whether the planet represents energy forms which are harmonious or difficult in your life. So there are 11 start questions in all, and obviously the first assignment is the most difficult. I mean, I've studied many Vedic astrology and Western astrology courses, and basically it is the first one that's difficult. But you don't worry, you send in what you can from your knowledge base, and I send you responses which enable you to build it up. So quite frankly, very soon I have students sending in wonderful material about each of their planets and making the most wonderful applications of techniques to the understanding of planets in our charts and in our lives. Very, very quickly I have students in sort of many countries. You know, I pride myself in being sort of caring. I've been on courses where the tutor doesn't even look at the material the students do. That prompts me to make my best efforts to assist the student develop the start to the course. So have a look at my Master Vedic Astrology Foundation course, www.mastervedicastrology.com, and enroll. Thank you.